Welcome to Greg Hansen's Video Notebook, brought to you by Sam Levitt's Furniture. I'm Star Sports Editor Ryan Finley here with Greg Hansen. Greg, Wednesday, Pima County Sports Hall of Fame announced its new class. Some big names on there, and then some people who maybe our viewers might not know who certainly deserve it. Take me through a couple of the highlights of that class.
One of their better classes, and I think about the last 10 years, they've really hit it out of the park. I mean, they've got Kelly Walbert-Cagle, soccer player from South Point, who became a first-team All-American at Duke, maybe the best soccer player in Tucson history. She's in there. Sarah Beason, her last name is now Anderson, first-team All-American, first baseman at Stanford from CDO.
Wow.
Now she works at UMC. She went to med school. Those are, you can't beat those two. Then Anthony Sanders from Santa Rita High School went to the U of A as a quarterback. He was going to be Dick Tomey's franchise quarterback. Instead, he signs with the Blue Jays after training camp had began, wins a gold medal in the Olympics. Now is managing in the Colorado Rockies system. There's three pretty good names right there.
Absolutely, three household names. I mean, if you follow Greg Hansen's Sunday Notebook, for instance, these are names that you have read through the years. There's two names on there, Greg, that I think are certainly deserving, but maybe a little bit out of place.
Yeah.
You look at the great Jim Young, still lives in Tucson, former U of A head coach. Then you look at the late Larry Smith, somebody who you can make the argument could have been in any class in the last 20 years. Why did they do that now and with those two guys?
They probably just realized, hey, why aren't these two guys in? I really like the Larry Smith part because he didn't make anybody's Hall of Fame anywhere.
Really?
He won 59% of his games in his career. In the College Football Hall of Fame, you have to win 60. So he's not eligible. And for some reason, nobody anywhere he coached put him in their Hall of Fame. Well, he's the reason Arizona wasn't really bad in Pac-10 football to begin with, because he kicked butts right away.
And one of the reasons I'd make the argument with Larry Smith is that the way his jobs ended were never particularly good. You know, he leaves Arizona in the middle of the night for USC, really up and down at USC, ends up going to Missouri where things kind of peter out there. You forget that this is a man who did some really incredible things, especially at Arizona and at Missouri.
You know, and he was Arizona's defensive coordinator when they turned the football program from small time to big time in the 70s. Didn't get a lot of credit for that. You know, he went to Tulane and went 9-3 at Tulane. That's why Arizona hired him. He had a heck of a career. I'm glad to see him honored.
Absolutely, and glad that Cheryl, his widow, can be here. You know, Cheryl Smith still lives in Tucson. He still has family in Tucson and Phoenix. That's going to be a big day for the Smith family. Talk about Jim Young just a little bit. This is a guy who is, I think, a very cerebral coach, a guy who can still talk football in the X's and O's, a guy who still lives in Tucson, Arizona. Why did it take him so long?
Probably because he only coached here 5 years, and then he went to Purdue and then Army.
Well, that'll do it for this episode of Greg Hansen's Video Notebook. The Pima County Sports Hall of Fame class was announced Wednesday. They will be inducted in a ceremony later this fall. For Greg Hansen, I'm Ryan Finley. We'll see you next time.